Hey, welcome to Rust Revival Garage. My name is Tim. I've been needing to do a project. However, I just moved my youngest daughter into college. And well, you know, you gotta buy a bunch of stuff. Gotta buy her a computer, gotta buy her all this kind of stuff. So the budget was tight. So I said to myself, what's a project that I've been meaning to do for a while that won't cost me anything? So let's get to it. So this is my truck. You probably have seen it before if you've been watching the channel. And I did some Poppy's patina on it, so it looks a little shinier, but you know what still looks terrible? Look at these wheels. These things look awful. So what I figured I would do, since I've got paint, is clean these things up, make them look a lot better than they do now. Now, I'd love to be able to do them all at once, but pretty much only going to do them one or two at a time. Ow! Knuckle buster. Yeah, a little closer up you can see it's just rusting and flaking away pretty much all the way around. I need to take this off too. Now ideally I'd like to do this with the tire off because the tire's in the way. But again, I don't have any way to unmount it and remount it back up, so gotta do it like this. Check out Jeffrey Riggs' channel. I'll put a link there in the description. He gave me this sweet hat and I keep forgetting to thank him for that. But if you've ever wanted to paint your wheels, follow along with me. I am not an expert, but if you've got crappy old wheels like this and you want to make them look a little better, let's see what we can do. I do know that this is the first step. You got to get a set of these wire wheels if you don't have them, good drill, and just take all the old rusty crap off. Okay, I'll be doing this for the next half an hour, so you probably don't want to see that, but I will just continue to wire wheel the heck out of this thing until I get it down to as much bare metal as I can. All right, got most of it stripped away. A lot of rough edges in here still. May have to do some hand sanding. Did a little more sanding and I think I got it pretty roughed up, so yeah. I'm just going to clean them off a little bit, get all that dust off, and then see how it feels. Realized I needed to get down there to get this. So I just folded some in half. Get down in those creases. I just don't want to do this again. All right, another round of sanding and vacuumed it out again. So it should be, and pretty much I've sanded all the surface, so it should be nice and roughed up. Now I can try to clean it up. Well, see, that round I got a lot more of the rust out of there. So you can see it's more orange than it is black. But there's not as much orange looking metal left. Now, if you've watched this channel, see me do any other kind of metal stuff, I like the Pour 15 degreaser and the Pour 15 metal prep. I know there's debate about how well the actual Pour 15 works on metal, but I like at least the cleaner and the prep. Basically, the prep eats a lot of the rust. Anything that I might have missed in there, I'm going to spray it on, let it sit for 10-15 minutes. Then if whatever part gets dry, I'm going to spray it again, and I'm going to make sure it's wet for 15 to 20 total minutes after I do the degreaser. And then that way the paint can stick, and hopefully I'm killing most of the rust. So that's the plan. This is the Pour 15 degreaser, and this is the metal prep. This is my degreaser. Spray it on here. Clean that up with a nice clean rag. Try not to touch it with my fingers. Now you can see I've already cleaned it with just like the regular cleaner, and this is the degreaser. Look what's coming off. That's crazy. At some point somebody painted this wheel red. Do you see the red right there? I can't imagine what this would have looked like as a red wheel. Maybe it was stock that way, I don't know. I'm guessing these are the stock wheels that came with it in '85. Alright, next is going to be the Pour 15 metal prep. Hopefully that will take care of the rust that is still there. Time for the metal prep. It's got sort of a purplish color to it. But I did reread the instructions, and it actually says 30 minutes. Keep it wet for 30 minutes. So I'm going to spray this on, keep checking it, coming back out and making sure, respraying it if I have to, but I'm going to keep it wet for 30 minutes. This isn't crazily rusted. It's really just more of a surface rust. But like I said, I just don't want to do this again. And of course it looks like it's going to rain. We've actually set some kind of record here in Ohio. It has rained 12 days straight in the month of August. That's never happened. There's been, I think it was 2004, there was like 10 straight days. But I mowed the grass on Friday. It's Tuesday and I need to mow the grass again. That doesn't happen in August. Tons and tons of rain. Alright, I moved it inside in case it started raining on me, but like I said, I'm going to keep it wet for 30. Alright, it's been 30 minutes. Had to rinse it off 2 more times just to keep it wet. As you can see, it's still pretty wet. So yeah, now you got to get this cleaned off. You do not want to leave that stuff on there because it will start to etch. You can see how it's already starting to turn it into a white color, like a powder. And you don't really see any of the orange left anymore. Alright, just used some water, got it all cleaned out. Ran a little bit of the degreaser in there again. And I think it's ready for some paint. Now trying to tape off and paint a wheel is a pain in the butt. So what I'm going to do is the lazy man's way out. I'm actually going to coat the entire tire with Dawn. I'll be able to spray it, and then the Dawn will keep the paint off of the rubber from the tire, and then it'll just paint the wheel, and then I can just rinse all the soap off. Alright, did not know the primer was black, but we'll go with that for now. Had to pull it inside because it started to sprinkle, but just did a super light coat of sandable primer. And then for the color, I've got a Duplicolor wheel paint. It's a silver. And I'm gonna give this a try, see how this looks. Didn't have to buy it, I'd already had it. All right, so next day, I couldn't actually get to the actual paint. Started raining like crazy, had to close the door, paint fumes and all that. Anyway, because I did let it dry, it is sandable primer, and I do need to give it a light sand so that it roughs it up a little bit. Pretty much you don't want to sand anything that's been solidly, or you don't want to paint anything that's dried and cured. And so yeah, I just need to rough it up a little bit, but I'm going to get it back out here in the sun. So the primer's on there, a little heavy in some spots, but like I said, I will sand this a little bit, clean it up, and then we'll do the paint. Nothing crazy with the sandpaper, and this is literally just one of those like scrubbing pieces, but you can actually feel it takes off a little bit of the extra. Alright, so sanded, I put a little bit more of my Dawn detergent around, and I'm going to give it some paint. Also, I wanted to make sure I covered up the stem. It doesn't need to be silver. So yeah, just a light coat first, and then we'll do heavier on the next couple rounds. Always make sure you get all the paint off of your nozzle. Okay, so the rule of thumb is, this is according to Duplicolor, 3 light coats, 1 medium coat. So don't do a light coat and then spray it heavy twice. But 3 light coats, 1 medium, and then that should be good. And you're supposed to wait 10 minutes between each coat. If you wait more than an hour, supposedly you have to wait like 7 hours or something like that. So basically it's all done at once. Okay, so there is 2 coats. We wait 10 minutes. Light coat number 3. Three down, medium to go. 4th and medium coat. Alright, she's an old wheel, not perfect by any means, but certainly looks a little better. Now, gotta let this dry for quite a while. I'm also going to do a little bit of this wheel gloss clear coat. Maybe that'll help protect it a little bit, keep it easier to clean, a little shinier, that sort of thing. So let's see how that works. So what do we think? Looks alright. So yeah, considering the beginning of the video, looks a lot better on there. Again, not perfect, but certainly better. Kind of hard to tell not being in the sunlight, but you can just see it. That's really dull grayish, and that just really stands out now. It's kind of funny. So now I got to do the other 3 wheels, which is fun. But yeah, nothing too crazy on this. Like I said, the budget is tight. So thank you very much if you stuck with it all the way to the end to see the finished product. I appreciate that. Give me a like out of the video if you got anything out of it. Give me a comment down below if you have suggestions, or if you have any questions, that's cool too. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, I'd appreciate it. But yeah, thank you very much for tuning in. We will catch you next time.